What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster-in-chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, I am coming at you with an Ashiok deck. Finally, I had to throw my, my hat in the game, or however it is that you're supposed to say. But, a lot of the other content creators have put up their versions of Ashiok decks. I've seen people going Dimir, I've seen people going Esper, I've seen people going Mono Black, I've seen people going Orzhov. So I kind of did it all myself, and I've narrowed it down to, I think, my favorite one of the lot. This was almost going to be an episode of Brewing With. There's, just a single card, Ashiok, the new Planeswalker, spawned like 6 different brews, and I've been playtesting them all extensively. At one point I was like 6-2 with the one version, then I started losing a bit against control matchups, and I was like, damn it, I need some counter spells. So then I tried the Esper version, brought in the counter spells, the sweepers. I still haven't 100% decided, but there's definitely one that is my preferred because it's got some interesting play lines and interactions, so I think we're just going to go with that one. And I will not make this another episode of Brewing With. I'll just jump into the other versions and show you guys quickly without, talking too much. So you get some ideas, get your own brewing juices flowing, which is, of course, the whole point of the channel. So without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. As you can see, there were, like 6, not 5. Yeah, and there was more. There was 6 initially, all focused around Ashiok. And as, Mono Black, then I was like, no, let's add the counter spells. Then I was like, no, we need the sweepers. And then I was like, okay, let's put the counter spells and the sweepers. But we're going to stick with BlackLiferate over here. This one is my favorite so far. Not only because of a couple of sweet new interactions, which I'm about to show you, but also because we get to play 3 copies of The End, which has just been like godsend. Not only, I mean, it honestly, it's a scoop-inducing card. Like, if they get rid of my Ashiok with their copy of The End, yes, we've got some other walkers here that can do the trick, but whew, yeah, it's over pretty quickly. I mean, that's our main win con. So, focusing in on Ashiok, this is the whole point of tonight. This card is interesting. It's got the static ability that says if you would pay life, then you exile at least that many cards. If your library has at least that many cards in it as the life that you paid, then you exile that many cards from the top of your library instead. Which sounds like a really weird thing, like why would we want that to happen? Well, once you read the ultimate or the the -7, then it all makes sense. So the -7 is target player exiles the top X cards of their library, where X is the total mana value of cards you own in exile. So we want to be putting cards in our exile that have some mana value. Obviously, putting lands in there is the least favorable thing because they don't have any mana value. But eventually, it gets to the point, and unfortunately, they've made this convenient little tracker. Once Ashiok's on the battlefield, you'll see a little number on the side of the card, which tracks that mana value in your exile. When it reaches equal to or greater than the opponent's library, you -7, and you get rid of their entire deck. It's kind of like milling, but worse. The rest of the Planeswalker is also pretty good. I mean, the +1 is essentially card advantage. Just remember to read the screen carefully. Don't make the mistake that I did. When you +1, it'll present you with 2 cards, and it says there, pick the one you wish to exile. So you're not picking the one that wants to go into your hand. You pick the one that isn't going into your hand. The one you don't pick is the one that goes into your hand. I've said it in 3 different ways. I hope nobody makes that mistake, because I definitely did the first time. And then the -2 makes these little nightmares which grow every turn, because you're going to be exiling something every turn pretty much, whether it be through Ashiok herself or through the Staff of Completion, which we'll get to in a second. So you're almost always going to be putting a +1/+1 counter on these little nightmares, which is also great with this little proliferate sub-theme, because there are counters, and we're going to be proliferating not just with Vraska's 0, but also with the Staff of Completion. So that's the next most important card in the deck. It's one of those cards. I love it when Wizards does this. It was printed back in All Will Be One, and we were like, how am I supposed to do with this thing? Like, why would I want to pay 4 life to draw a card? But then Ashiok was printed 3 sets later or whatever, and suddenly it all makes sense, because we're paying life. Remember the static ability. Whenever we pay life, So for all of these things that the staff can do, we're paying life. And every time we do so, we'll be exiling cards with Ashiok. Most of the time, we're going for the pay 3 life proliferate. Because we've got so many planeswalkers on the deck, we want to be proliferating. And if we can get to proliferate Ashiok to 7 loyalty a turn sooner, whilst at the same time exiling cards to make the payoff better, then, you know, the two things just, it's like a match made in heaven. So that's win con number 1. But of course, with this many planeswalkers, all of them have an ultimate. We can also win just by doing a Sorin ultimate. Which, by the way, even if it doesn't win you the game with a 13 damage, it's just fantastic to mitigate all of the life that you've been losing off of the Staff of Completion. And it also makes these little 2/3 flyers with lifelink, which have been invaluable against, you know, the opponent playing freaking mono red and whatnot, because we don't have any sweepers other than Blast Zone. That's another very important piece of this deck. All of this proliferating means we can put the counters on to Blast Zone, these charge counters, without spending any mana. Or, you know, we can also just spend mana if we don't have any way of proliferating. Regardless, just remember that you don't always have to proliferate everything that you have on the board with tokens if you don't want to. When you proliferate, you can pick the permanents that you wish to proliferate and the ones you wish not to. So you can have multiple copies of Blast Zone on the board, and then you just, like, don't just proliferate them all to infinity, because you want them to be at different mana values so that we can sweep different things. I often keep one at 2, one at 3, one at 4 for Sheoldreds and whatnot, and you can gauge it, and, you know, depending on the matchup, how many charge counters you want on your different Blast Zones, and they act as your sweeper. We've also got the Tablet of Completion over here, which was initially the Filigree Silex, but I felt like I needed just a little bit more card draw than just the Vraska. And, you know, I mean, all of our walkers, like, except for Liliana, do a bit of card drawing, and we can draw some cards at a very high cost with Staff of Completion. But I thought with playing this proliferate little sub-theme, let's get the Staff of Completion in here. Eventually we can draw cards with it. It helps us ramp a little bit. You know, it needs just 2 oil counters on it, which is pretty much, like, by the very next turn, you can, if you proliferate once and tap it when it comes down, then ta-da, it's got 2 oil counters. Now it can tap to add a mana of any color, a colorless mana, and then eventually you can pay 1, tap it, and draw a card. So I thought it was pretty nice to test out a very underplayed card with this little proliferate sub-theme. Of course, we've got Drown and Ichor because it proliferates, and then the rest is just removal deluxe. We may end up getting rid of the cut-downs and going for the marches, the Black March, because of the life gain. But let's see, maybe the Sorin will be enough. Of course, 3 go for the throats, 2 Sheoldred's Edicts, 3 the ends, like plenty of targeted removal. Like I said, we just need to rely on these Blast Zones for our sweeper action. But again, don't forget, our Planeswalkers are also all removals. Like, it's been great. It's been real fun, and I hope we get some good wins on the ladder, and then I'll show you some of the other decks towards the end of the video. So let's jump into some games. Just tried the Esper one a few times, and I don't know. Mana base, a little bit more wonky. Just this black one has been the most, like, consistent and stable and working. It's got some terrible matchups, of course. You know, you run into Esper control, somebody's playing like a million counter spells and dissipates and whatnot, you're probably just going to lose. And, like, unfortunately, a lot of people are crafting copies of the end. So my, like, main planeswalkers that I need for my win cons are getting exiled for the rest of the game quite often. That card is ridiculous, man. Like, that's why I went with 3 of them. Like, if I can't deal with it, let me at least inflict some of that pain on the opponent as well. Mono red. How good of you to stop by. Sorin, great. Just great. So if he goes for like a little Phoenix chick or something, there we go. That can still be cut down. Boink. And we can go for the throat, whatever the next thing is, and then we get Sorin on the board. And we've got enough mana for Vraska as well, which is pretty cool. Yep. mitigate damage dealt as much as possible, always, against mono red, of course. Bye. So good. It's just so good. 2 mana. Sorry. Sorin's coming down next. I mean, for sure you've got the lightning strike, but at least he can survive another turn and maybe make 2 little dudes. Squee? Godric? Shivan Devastatore. Well, isn't that something? Worst possible outcome would be, you know, lightning strike on the vampire and attack Sorin with the Devastator. Would be pretty frustrating. Or that, and lightning strike on the vampire. Would not be surprised. I don't know if I would have gone about it that way. Could have saved yourself a burn spell. Fine. Nope. So paying 2 here is obviously not good.
Metal is eternal. Embrace the inevitable.
Okay. That hurts. So if he's got another play with fire in hand, then he can... Insane, man. The consistency of mono red, like, and this isn't even like any of the new cards. Okay, so let's put an oil counter and then proliferate, put another oil counter. At least he's in top deck mode. But we all know how ridiculous mono red can be with their top decks. There we go. Goes without saying. I guess we Takenuma. Oh, okay, never mind.
Consider yourself fortunate, Lotus. You will serve me well.
Man, if that's a lightning strike, it is a lightning strike. Heyo! This is where we have a big turnaround. Where's our good friend Okay. Klein.
Dire times call for dire tactics.
Phyrexian life will rise from your... You know nothing of Phyrexia's plans.
Okay, now we can draw cards with Tablet. Oh, baby, we've done it.
Patience. We will.
You fight for me.
Exile one of them. Keep the other. I think we got him. I mean... Cool. Would love to find the staff, but I don't think he'll let us win. I mean, he'll probably just concede before it's... Nice opponent. Actually letting us, like, do the thing. -2. Might as well.
You can deal with my servant. I'm busy.
Oh!
Phyrexia spreads.
Good opponent, like he's being a real good sport. Hey, 4. Untap. Hey, 4 more. Wow, we're not really... I mean, she's on 16. We win the game anyway. See, instead of paying the 4, it got... There we go, 21... Get stuck, Monored. Oh, baby. Didn't quite do the full thing, but definitely very nice. You see what we're trying to do here. The blast zones, getting rid of those 2 commandos was so clutch. And like the Sorin, just in terms of surviving against aggro, has been fundamental. Good game 1. Good game 1. Oh, yes, baby. So mono red probably, you know, it's like the worst matchups have been mono red, like where you like on the play and they just run you over before you even get anything going. And then you know, Esper, Azorius, plenty counter spells. That's been tough. But everything else, pretty happy. Not gonna lie. Mulligan that one. Oh, some sort of a mirror. Wouldn't be surprised. Don't forget, you can, you know, like, even though we don't have a 4th land, we can use the staff to cast Sorin. And we can also now cut something down in a pinch. But I think right now the opponent is the type of person who's about to just play a Sheoldred. And we're just gonna go, boom, the end. See you never. Oh, braids. Okay. Really? Yeah, okay, I mean, whatever. Would have loved another land there. But let's have a look at his hand also. I had another one in hand. Okay, 3 Sheoldreds, Liliana. Ooh, some sort of like discardy vibes. Discard plus Sheoldred and braids. Hey, not a bad strat. So the hand, most importantly, had you know, 1 more discard spell. We'll probably get rid of this cut down. Feels a bit useless. Okay. Could we draw a land, please?
I am vengeance, bloody and righteous.
Wow, mate.
Know my secrets?
3 lands.
Very well.
There's 25 in the deck. 3 lands. Oh, yay. Okay. Sure.
Serve me well.
You can just, of course, cut down our vampire, but, you know. What am I supposed to do about that? Just let him kind of slowly kill himself as well. Isn't terrible. Milling and killing himself with 2 arenas down and no way to gain the life back. Bring it on. Yeah, like, you know, maybe we could also draw that many lands, then the game would have gone another way, but...
Blood for knowledge, a fair trade.
To bottom. Just play Sheoldred attack. Wow. So toxic, eh?
You won't be outsmarting me.
Get out of my way!
Fine. I know when I'm not wanted.
Cut it down.
You fight for me now.
I can't believe this match, man. Went so badly. You are just the luckiest person, man. That was insane. Just the top of his library was so good to that dude. Every single time. Okay, didn't play that fantastically. Definitely felt like we could have played that better. So far, I was undefeated against the Mire, you know, black versus black. So that was my first loss. Felt very bad. I like that take. Very nice. Discard, Sheoldred, Braids. I was in a terrible deck, honestly. Yes, sure. I'll keep it. We need a third land, like ASAP. That's always the case. Again, 25. I think it's been okay. Like, we top out at 5 mana, really. So, like, 25 lands is fine. I just don't know what, like, the luck is doing tonight. It was pretty good against the mono-red opponent just a match before, so I'm not getting too salty yet. Ooh. Boros. That's playing these over something else. Okay. Jeskai. No good. Don't like blue. Oh, it's dragons. It's le dragon time. I like dragons. Very much. Where's my mana? 2 games in a row like this. It's digging for that. There we go. That's a problem. Ah.
You deal with this annoyance.
We've got the edicts. We've got 2 of them to deal with this hexproof nonsense. Sure.
Know that I will not abandon my quest. For the sake of all innocent, my will not you will serve me well.
What is going on? This is some crazy nonsense. So, Zurgo and Ojutai coming down next turn. Pretty much guaranteed.
You fight for me now.
We can draw off this clue that here's Zurgo. Right? Surely? Oh. The Edict's good. So let's see how this plays out. We can end the Devastator and then Edict the Ojutai next turn or something. I don't know. I guess he goes for both of them at my Ashiok. Oh. Okay, let's hope he doesn't hit the... Of course, he got the freaking Fateful Absence. I don't know, I've been having one of those days, guys. Like, I just don't understand how the opponent seems to always just find the perfect answer to everything. It's been happening a lot today. Blows my mind. Okay. Then he's using these to bargain the Tyrant. Nice deck, dude. Nice deck. Didn't he have to reveal it? Oh. $16 isn't gonna do it. I think we got this. 22. Then we got some sort of a 1-mana thing here. 33. We got him. Oh, life is just so good in the hood, baby. Bye. Bye. Get out of my face. Oh, it feels so good when you do it. Watch this. You'd lost. Just take your loss.
Symphony of your own screams.
Come on, are you gonna concede? Come on, just concede. Come on. I'll just bring him back. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Navigated well, I think. I think the opponent made a few misplays. I would have played the hasty thing that can attack. I guess he was like, oh, this does 4 damage right away. Stop the Ashiok from ultimating. No, not with this much mana and 2 staffs on the board. What a freaking nice victory. Okay. Definitely making up for the previous defeat. How are we doing for time? I think this is going to have to be it, guys. I don't want to go too long with it. We got to see the thing in action. I wish the matches hadn't been as long. We could have snuck in a few more, but we all get the point here and the plan. Key takeaways from the matches, I think maybe Tablet, not quite as good. I don't know. Not terrible. Not terrible. But maybe the filigree Silex, considering all of this proliferating, might actually be a pretty good idea. It's that one where you can remove 10 oil counters, do 10 damage to any target. So it's like ends up being an alternate little win con there. And you can just use it as a sweeper. It's just maybe better than Tablet of Completion just for that reason. I'll leave it up to you guys. Let me know in the comments. Would you have put the filigree Silex? Before we jump into the very final thoughts, I just wanted to, like I promised, show you my thought process. So I started off with BlackLiferate, then I went to Wicked Sting, where I did bring in the filigree, and I went a little bit more creature heavy in that I just brought in Sheoldred, and because my thinking was I want to play a sweeper that isn't just relying on Blast Zone and whatnot. So let's bring in Gix's Command, but then I hate having a card in my deck for which some of the modes are dead. So, you know, the one where return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to hand, not having any creatures just felt terrible. So I brought in the Sheoldreds, which is anyway just a busted card, and I thought, okay, cool. And then there was the Filigree Silex, but otherwise very similar game plans, similar removal spells, the Staff of Completion, the Ashiok, the whatever. This is definitely another way you could go about it. I also brought in the Mycosynth Gardens to copy the staff because it's not legendary. I found that to be pretty useful as well in a few matches. So this was another take. Again, sound off in the comments, guys. What do you reckon? I'm just trying to give you some ideas. Then I went from there. I was like, okay, look, we need this like quick proliferate thing so we can get Ashiok's ultimate off. I was struggling against control decks with Arcana spells, so I was like, okay, let's try bringing blue. And then immediately I was like, oh, cool. Let's play the little toxic package, because anyway, we want Vraska for the proliferation, and then we get all of these cool proliferate cards. We got this alternate win con of poison counters, and then that makes Bring the Ending really good, makes Anoint with Affliction really good, and you know, we were going, instead of going for the staff, I was playing Demonic Bargain instead to put a lot of stuff in exile for the win con with Ashiok. So instead of going with the Staff of Completion, went with Demonic Bargain, and then in this like Dimir Toxic package. Honestly, this one was also really good. It almost made the video tonight, but we just did a Dimir video yesterday, so I decided to skip on that one. Maybe for a future video. Then I was like, okay, what about, instead of the counter spells, let's just bring in the sweepers without sacrificing too much like of the strategy. So I went for an Orzhov version, which was essentially the mono black one, which was just splashing a little bit of white for Path of Peril, but still going about the, you know, mass planeswalkers, removal, and then Staff of Completion, Ashiok, win con. This one was very, very good. I went 5-0 with it yesterday. I put up a post on Twitter. For those of you who follow me there, you would have noticed. This is the one I went 5-0 with on ladder. But then it started to drop off a little bit. The algorithm started serving me up. Again, more Esper control mages and whatnot. And just not having any counter spells was terrible. So then I went to the final iteration, which was the you know, bring it all together. Let's play Esper. It's got all the best cards. Esper's amazing. But mana base got real clunky. And then I just didn't know. This one was definitely close. You know, Teferi was able to untap the staff And then if you had like 5 mana on the board, you can untap it once for mana, and then untap it again with Teferi to get like maybe triple proliferate triggers on your Ashiok. And this one actually was very, very close. Again, we were able to bring in some counter magic. Still has great removal, good sweepers, still have the end in there, a Wandering Emperor for the life gain. Like, this might be another direction to take it. So, there we go. I think I've given you guys more than enough, fodder for your brewing juices. And that is going to have to be it for tonight's video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be seeing you all in the next one with another fresh brew. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the Brew Lab signing out. Peace, y'all.